let you know what you need and what you want on the court. For football, the basketball, and every other sport. With Troy and DL and Dr. Carl Brickey and Paul and the coach Robert Brickey. It's time, get your coffee and get ready for the flow. Get ready for the coach Brickey Sports Show. And get ready for the flow. And get ready for the flow. And get ready for the flow. Brickey Sports Show.
8 minutes after the hour, back to, I hope you had a great weekend. It's going to be hot again today. Weather advisories out there. If you're going to be out there, just put something on your head. Don't go out with nothing on your head. So look, I might well look. They have their cattle sauce. I might well take mine off too. We got 3 men in the room with no hair. Anyway, back to another edition of the Coach Brickey Sports Show. We have in the studio here, I'm anchoring from the flagship station of the Widu Radio Network, 2520 Murchison Road, 1600 AM, 99.7. We're here at WIDU, and also in the studio with me is the Reverend Dr. Carlton Brown, who is he knows the sports. I mean, he knows them well, so he's down with it. He's from Jamaica, man, so he understands, the soccer thing better than we do, because he lived it out. Matter of fact, he won't admit it, but he started to go pro at one time. And so, but then we have online, we have DL, and also the host of the show, Coach Robert Brickey, who is an alum of E.E. Smith. He's a Hall of Famer from there, and also a protege of Coach K at Duke University, Final Four. He knows all about that kind of stuff. Anyway, give a hand to Coach Robert Brickey for the Coach Robert Brickey Sports Show.
Good morning, gentlemen. Good morning.
Good morning,
Hope everybody had a good holiday weekend. Did anybody do anything that was exciting?
I did, sir. I laid down. I got some rest.
I know. Stayed in the house all day.
Man, you talking to old folk, man. What's wrong with you?
I was just thinking, it's amazing how your perspective changes. as you
Definitely,
age.
sir.
Stay at home is a great proposition.
It is.
When you get a certain age. So, and I'll tell you, we had planned to go to a concert on Friday, an outdoor concert, but it was just too hot. I couldn't see sitting through 100-degree temperatures for a couple of hours. So we opted to go to a movie.
Understood.
So we're going to lead with soccer today. I think we need to really just give soccer a space because it is the number one sport in the world. It's just not as big here in the States as it is everywhere else globally. So, Dr. Brad, I know you're a big fan. So, and I tried to send some show notes, and I knew you knew all those things already. So if you don't mind giving us a rundown of the current status of the World Cup,
Okay.
we appreciate it.
Here's our World Cup update. All right, as you know, we are in the knockout stage of the round of 16. So far, Morocco beat Canada. That's not an upset because this is the first time Canada made it to the knockout stage. Morocco is probably, I think, is the second best African nation. Morocco also made it to the quarterfinals the last time of the World Cup. So that's not a surprise. That was expected. France beat Paraguay. That was supposed to be expected. France is the team that is expected to win the tournament. That's what everybody's putting their money on. Now, one of the big upset was Norway beating Brazil. And so that was a big deal, right? They didn't expect that. Brazil has been one of the world powers in soccer for a long time, and so that was a surprise, even though Brazil wasn't really expected to win the tournament, but the fact that Norway beat them was still a surprise. Now, the game last night, England beating Mexico 3-2. It wasn't really upset because England, again, the odds are that they were in the top 5 to win the tournament. The thing that was an upset is that they beat Mexico in Mexico, because Mexico had not been to the knockout stage in the last 6 World Cup tournaments, and so it was not a surprise. But what's a surprise is that Mexico had only lost about 2 games. They played at home in the Azteca Stadium in Mexico, and they had only lost 2 games out of about 80 games in that stadium. So that was a surprise, but England was really the better team. Right now, today is a big match: Portugal versus Spain, and U.S. versus Belgium tonight. Now, as you may know, there's a big controversy in the U.S.-Belgium game, right? America's leading scorer, Balogun, was given a red card in his last match. And when you're given a red card, you're disqualified from the following game, which would have been today's game. But our president, Donald Trump, called the FIFA president and basically asked him for a favor. Said, you need to review what happened. And they they reversed it. They lifted the ban, which is very unusual. It's very unprecedented that they would reverse a red card. It's never been done in the World Cup before. So Belgium, of course, is not happy because, as the coach said, he didn't know that April Fool's Day came on July 5th. That was his response when they asked him about what happened. So I think that's going to be a very controversial, even though I personally believe he shouldn't have been given a red card to begin with. All right, now, tomorrow, Argentina plays Egypt. Switzerland plays Cumberland. The quarterfinals, those who have qualified for the quarterfinals so far, is we got France who's going to take on Morocco. Norway is going to take on England. Those are the 2 quarterfinalists so far. And, of course, Portugal versus Spain, and Belgium, they'll move on to the next quarterfinal round. But let me tell you something. The best feel-good story in the World Cup so far has been the story of Cape Verde. With 500,000 residents in the country, they made it to the World Cup for the first time, and they advanced to the knockout stage. And the defending world champion had to hold on for dear life and scored the winning goal with 2 minutes left in the competition. Argentina was sweating bullets, right? And so that's the feel-good story, Cape Verde. They went back home to a hero's welcome, as you might well imagine. So that's the World Cup update, my brothers and sisters.
Listen, and that's a fantastic rundown.
It is.
But what I want to ask you is, now that we have the World Cup in our back door, is this going to raise raise soccer up a notch in the eyes of Americans? Is this going to draw new fans? Is this going to help the sport for U.S. soccer? Is this our biggest moment? What do you think about that?
Absolutely. Yes, and all of those counts. In fact, you have people now talking about soccer that never talked about soccer before. The fact that they're hosting and the fact that they've gone this far, has raised the level. You're going to have more people playing soccer. You're going to have more soccer stadiums. You're going to have more kids playing soccer. Now, it has absolutely lifted up soccer as terms of American sports. In fact, I heard one guy yesterday saying, soccer is now going to be a regular sports in America, just like, basketball, football. It's going to become so common that everybody's going to start talking about soccer. So, yes, sir, it has absolutely raised soccer profile in the USA.
I have not been much of a soccer fan, but since I'm here in Charlotte, we have a USC, I think it's USC team, and there's a lot of commotion that goes on about soccer, and there's a lot of soccer fans, a lot of soccer activity, and people go crazy at these games. So I'm happy for the growth of the sport in this country because, I think we think we've got to be the best at everything. And one of the things in other countries, and I'm sure some of y'all can attest, soccer is everything in some countries. And so it's not like it is here. There's a love and a passion and a fever for soccer in other places because it's been there so long.
Yeah.
That they have a passion and love for the game, unlike we do. But I think it's growing. What do you think about that, Pastor?
Yeah, look, I was thinking about that because my godson, he's been in corporate America most of his life, and he's 47 now. But he played a little soccer at Dugsburg, I guess, but he played football for Bob Paroli. And but when he went in corporate, they started playing soccer, and they still do it now. So I guess it used to be softball leagues, and now it's turned into a soccer thing. But I guess it's a less expensive sport. You know what I mean? What you need is you got to have a ball and those things down there, the nets down there. But Pele, am I saying that name right? I mean, I grew up being a fan of his, and so I think soccer is the way that we're leaning, the way we're going.
When you think about this, I think one thing that helps now is you got to be able to be seen by people easily. By that I mean your marketing, your media has to be able to get soccer in front of different people now. And I think that's what's happening. The typical soccer fans, that's great, but I think new eyes are starting to see soccer, especially now that we had a World Cup here and such a big deal. Any thoughts on that deal?
About soccer becoming popular? No, it's not going to happen. It's 21 days NFL training camp open, and football is king. It's literally is king. The hype is there because it's summer and you don't have a lot of baseball fans, and it's in our backyard. Football is king, and that's what I'm waiting on, training camp to start. Not happening.
Well, look, let me give you a little bit of pushback on that, though. Look, right now, the Latino population in America is about 20%, and they're growing. And I know a place over in Robson County. A number of they live there, and they have soccer. They got their own little soccer fields where they play each other. If you drive around some of these areas, you're gonna see more and more of that.
Soccer, yeah.
I see that in Sampson County, Hope County, even here in Fayetteville, off of Southern Avenue. They had a little soccer thing where they were playing each other. I believe it's gonna become more popular with the population shift that we have here, with the number of Latino people that are moving here.
That's true too.
And people from the islands or whatnot. I think that's what the swing is going to be. So we might not want to go there, but I think we're going to go there, but just because of the people that live here.
Yeah, but I don't think it will ever overtake football as the top American sport deal, but it is going to rise in popularity. Like you said, fields are popping up everywhere. You're in Charlotte. Charlotte is a big soccer town. So I think it's going to rise. It's going to grow. It will never, I don't think, overtake football. Football is the American #1 sport, and it will probably always be. But soccer is going to grow exponentially, especially after this tournament. And if America keeps winning, it's just going to grow bigger. So you're right, Dio, but soccer is growing.
But Coach, I have a question for you, because now this is even in North Carolina, DL, you know this. There are parents now that will not allow their children to play football because of the head injury thing, you know? What about that? Because the number of people that are playing football is decreasing. Because of that, I wonder, in the long range, Coach and DL, what effect do you think that's going to have? Because the North Carolina Association, whatever they call that thing, over high school sports. I read an article about that. The number of people that are playing football is decreasing.
Yeah,
Well,
they,
they got a video on social media. It's funny. It's called when the coach has two of those, what they call those little dummies. They'll make an imaginary sideline, and it requires all people to be on their back. And when they get off their back, the running back has to run through two guys and get hit. That sends people to basketball who don't like contact. So there's always been something to send people to basketball. Yeah, it's going to be certain parents. I would say don't have a scientific measurement. About 2 out of 10 parents probably say, "Mom, my child will stop playing football." But because of Neil money in college, it's no guarantee to make pro. Football's not going anywhere. Now the college players are being paid. Yet that sport it's safe. Think about it. What did Congress had to call the NFL on the carpet because you have to watch football on 10 different streaming platforms. So it's not going anywhere. It's no threats here.
Let's switch gears quickly to tennis. Wimbledon has started. Anybody? It was weird. I used to watch way more tennis than I do now, but it just seems like I don't have the time. But it seems like every time. But the good thing about Wimbledon is you turn it on. There's a match on all day long somewhere, and it's easy to find. To DL's point. Naomi Osaka, big win over the weekend. She upset the number one player, and Novak Djokovic is still in it. And he's got to be, is he 40 yet? He's got to be close. And he's still in pursuit of another title, and Coco Gauff is there. Anybody got any commentary on Wimbledon?
Well, basically, when Osaka, when she has her head in the game, she becomes a tennis player, but then she wants to get involved in outside stuff, advocacy work, which is fine, but you're not focused on your craft. She's not dialed in. She likes tennis, but I don't think she loves it like a Serena Williams who does. And Serena came back, and she played a young lady half her age. She's old enough to be the young lady's young mother. And I applaud her. She brought some juice to the sport. Everybody had their eyes on, but it was an easy victory for the 22-year-old young lady. So we'll see what Venus and Serena do in the doubles. So it'll keep people dialed in.
Well, again,
anybody
now,
else tennis fan?
with the women's, again, this year is going to be the 8th or 9th different champion at Wimbledon. So that's the exciting thing about the women's side of the bracket, that every year a new star rise, and so this year it's going to be the 8th or 9th different champions. The top 3 seed has been knocked out, and so the highest ranked player left is an American, Jessica Pegula, and I think she plays Coco next. And I think somebody said something about Osaka. When she is dialed in, she has won, when she first came out, she has won 3 titles already, I think, right? And then she became pregnant and had a baby. And again, she is a lady who stands up for injustice and so on. And so that kind of takes her away. But the women's side is wide open. The men's side, still we got one guy, looks like he is marching to the championship. And so I don't know. I think Djokovic, he would love to get to the championship and win that number 25. I don't think he's going to get there. He's going to play this guy from Canada next, Felix Alisimuma, and it's going to be a tough game. But I don't know, man. We'll see what happens down the road. But it's getting good. It's getting good in Wimbledon. Maybe we need to take a trip.
Let me ask you this. It seems like viewership and maybe conversations about tennis have declined since Serena and Venus exited the tennis scene. Is there any truth to that? Anybody
I think
believe
so.
there's any truth to that?
I think so. I mean, because, you know, it's like any sport, you need kind of an anchoring
Right, yeah.
personality, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
And that was a great story. I mean, with the two of them, especially, they were competing against each other, you know? I mean, that was just huge. I also like to add, I don't know if you guys been to town lately, but, you know, off of Filter Plant Road, we have a huge tennis complex now, man, right there on the corner of Filter Plant and Bragg Boulevard. And it is awesome. If you know, you need to check that out. I mean, they cut the ribbon a couple of weeks ago, and the big thing too is pickleball. And you know, so I didn't know what that was, and I watched it a little bit. I went to the Y, watched it, and I'm like, man, you know, there's a lot of activity here. I'm gonna watch this. I ain't planning to play no pickleball. So you know, but I was watching TV, ESPN2, one of those, and there was a pickleball championship on TV. So will pickleball eventually one day take over tennis? I mean, I don't know.
I don't think so. I'll tell you, my daughter is a pickleball head. She loves pickleball.
Okay.
Guys. So I called her on Saturday. What you doing? Going to play pickleball? But you know, but I love the fact she's passionate about something. But anyway, I have studied it. I played it a few times.
Okay.
I think why it's so popular is it's not as strenuous as tennis.
Right.
So it's easier on the joints, and you don't have to do as much movement. The court's technically a little smaller, and especially if you're playing doubles, you don't have. There's not a lot of movement, and so I think it's a lot of people can play that probably wouldn't try to play tennis.
Okay.
Yeah, and again, well, for the Wimbledon, I think the viewership has declined because, again, there's no real draw. I mean, again, for the women, every year, the last 8 years, is a different winner. For the men, you know, when Federer, Djokovic, and Nadal was playing, that was kind of must-see TV because those guys pushed each other hard. Now, for the last 14 tournaments, it's just been two winners, Yannick Sinner and Carlos Alcaraz, right? But Alcaraz is hurt now, and so Sinner is the odds-on favorite to win. But, you know, you got some young guys coming up. Hopefully, that will make it exciting. But if you've got two guys winning every tournament, you know, it takes the mystery out. And so the fact that Alcaraz is out, Sinner is still there, but hopefully somebody will rise to the top and make it interesting. But that's why the viewership is down, I think.
Sure. Coach, we need to go to a break here, and I want you to know that Reverend Carl is wearing his Dallas Cowboy T-shirt on today, and he looks like he's had that one for a while.
He's getting ready for training camp.
So what now?
He's getting ready for training camp.
Yeah, right. Sitting on the bench looking at the players.
Hey, listen. Everybody got to train in their own way.
My bad. Look, we're going to a break. We'll be right back for more of the Coach Brickey Robert, the Coach Robert Brickey Sports Show. We'll be back for more following this break.
Russia has launched a massive missile and drone attack on Ukraine, killing at least 18 people. The assault highlights gaps in Ukraine's air defenses, particularly the need for more Patriot interceptor missiles. The newly passed state budget includes a new 6% prediction markets tax and higher levies on sports betting providers like Kashi and Polymarket, which is the latest move by the state to extract more revenue from its growing industry in gambling. 2nd District Congresswoman Deborah Ross attended a briefing last week with Secretary of State Marco Rubio and Special Envoy Steve Witkoff on the Iran war. Ross says they refuse to answer legitimate questions about our security, economy, and impacts on our allies. Crews were in an active scene on Sunday afternoon following a house fire in Surf City that happened on Saturday evening. The house was a complete loss. Mike Rayleigh, NCN News.
I'm Jamie Monticelli, WIDU Radio News. At about 4 a.m. on July 5th, Fayetteville Police Department went out to multiple shot spotter alerts in the area of Newark Avenue. Officers located numerous shell casings and began to canvass the area for additional evidence. Officers located a male gunshot victim laying on the ground in the 700 block of State Avenue. EMS personnel pronounced the male victim deceased at the scene. A male juvenile victim arrived at Cape Fear Valley Medical Center with non-life-threatening gunshot injuries related to that incident and is in stable condition. It is an isolated incident and there is no threat to the public. Whether you're on Team Fire or Team Baseball, you too can be a lifesaver. Come out today to donate blood and register with your team. Between the Fayetteville Fire Department and the Fayetteville Woodpeckers, who will come out on top? Either way, the blood bank wins. It is 1 until 6 p.m. at 490 Hay Street. From WIDU Radio, I'm Jamie Monticelli.
The heat and humidity once again packing a bit of a punch out there heading into the afternoon as high temperatures reach into the mid to upper 90s in some spots. This prior to scattered showers and thunderstorms that once again will develop late afternoon into the evening. They'll move north of I-40 as we head into the evening and early overnight hours. Temperatures then only fall into the 70s. Highs in the 90s again Tuesday with a scattering of afternoon showers and storms. I'm meteorologist Chris Michaels in the NCN Weather Center.
Angelic Flores Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville, is family-owned and operated, proudly serving the Fayetteville area. Whatever the occasion, Angelic Flores Creations can create a floral arrangement or gift for any occasion or holiday. Angelic Flores Creations has prompt, friendly, and caring service. If you want to say you care, you can always say it with flowers from Angelic Flores Creations, 442 Hillsborough Street, Fayetteville. Call 910-485-2205.
Pastor Teresa McAllister and Rafa Ministries Family Center welcome you to our 2026 Family Summit this summer, Saturday, August 8th at Cliffdale Recreation Center from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with lunch served. The theme this year, Choose Life. And we're offering our fam talks to support you in every area of life. Leaders, vendors, community professionals will be presenting from topics such as mental health, physical, financial, spiritual, and relational health. In addition, our Summer Camp Kids Choir will be featured as our performing artists. It's going to be an amazing event for the whole family. Text 843-209-6848 for more information. Or if you'd like to attend, or even to consider becoming a sponsor. Again, text 843-209-6848 for more information. Hope to see you there.
You ever notice how most helpful information always seems to show up just a little too late? Like, oh, the deadline was yesterday. Or,
you know you could have saved money if you've done that earlier.
Timing matters. With smart timing, you can lower your energy costs by running appliances like washers, dryers, and dishwashers outside of peak hours. And by adjusting your thermostat just a few degrees higher between 3 and 6 in the afternoon, you can save even more. It's a simple shift that helps reduce strain on the energy grid, supports a more sustainable future, and keeps power reliable for everyone in our community. Because at Fayetteville PWC, we're committed to being environmentally responsible, dependable, and deeply invested in the place we all call home. Timing matters, and smart timing means savings. Learn more at startsaving@faypwc.com.
Minutes for the top of the hour. Again, we have the Coach Brickey Sports Show on this morning. Coach, now I'm looking at your thing here, what you sent out to us. You didn't put on anything on there about Stephen A's comments about the 3 white guys going to L.A., okay? So, look, I know that's not your flavor and stuff like that, but come on. That's a little red meat, Coach. You didn't put it on there. Come on, you got to give me a little red meat.
Listen, Troy, I know in that department we're in capable hands with you. So, So
Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash. If you do not know your PIN, please enter pound or hash.
So who was that?
Just had to
Thank
hang
you.
up because
That was
he-
Stephen A. or either one of those white guys. But man, you gotta understand me. Look, that thing with Stephen A. I'm just saying, come on, coach. That just, now he's over the top. I wouldn't have said that, but I imagine some people actually believe that, though. Don't you think?
well, you know what Stephen A. is paid to do?
Entertain.
To stir
things up.
conversation. Yeah, that's what he's paid to do. So he does what he does well. I just choose not to listen.
I hear that, but look, come on now. I mean, we have to go all the way back to the Celtics to have a core of white male players, and the Celtics did it well, but still, has there been in the NBA now a core of white players that a team is built around? I mean, I think that's a fair question, isn't it?
Well, okay. I'm always looking at the other side of things. Maybe that's the direction they wanted to go in.
Oh no, look, I'm not knocking it. I grew up being a Lakers fan until y'all signed on LeBron. But anyway, but still, I'm cool with that. I mean, I'm just saying is that, I remember, because if you go back to the Celtics with Kevin McHale and all those guys, I mean, they were good players.
Right. So you saying these guys can't be good players?
No, I'm not saying that.
You saying you can't win with that core? Is that what Stephen A. Smith was saying?
No, I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying is that I think that you got to look back to Boston to have a core group of white players on a team that was successful at a championship league level, wouldn't you?
Mm-hmm.
Boston core was never completely white. Their top three players, their best player was Larry Bird, and depending on who you ask, because McHale accepted a six-man role for the longest. They were good, but you had Parrish, and then you brought in Dennis Johnson after the 84. No, Dennis Johnson came. I can't. Is it 84 or 85? But they were never completely white.
I didn't say completely white. But you had Bill Walton, Kevin McHale, and Larry on the same team. And those guys were a significant part of that championship, weren't they? Isn't that a fair question?
They were a significant part, but you're leaving off Dennis Johnson. If you want to put a pecking order, you're going to go Bird, and sometime it was Bird, McHale, Dennis Johnson, because DJ was the guard who had to lace it up against Magic. They had a core, and Bill Walton was a bench player, and they had Ray Williams. They were deep. It wasn't centered around two players, because if you take Parrish off that team, they don't win. If you take Dennis Johnson off that team, they don't win. They were just deep all over.
Okay,
now,
that's
what
true.
the Lakers have done, they're not finished. It's still early. They got rid of their center. They had to come off LeBron. He's getting too old. They had to come off of him. I'm just surprised. They're going to have to go out and get some pieces, because if they don't improve this team, they're not going to make the playoffs. So they're not finished making moves. Lakers, second largest media market, I think, behind New York. They're going to get some players, but they just had to move off LeBron. And it was, as far as Stephen A., once y'all talking about him, he's going to say something stupid or smart. He just wants his name out there. And I look at his predictions as an analyst, He was wrong about SGA. He was wrong about Jalen Brunson. Stephen A's been wrong about so much stuff, but he gets paid to just say outlandish things on and off the court.
Well, that's my question though. Was it an outlandish statement about those guys though?
He was just being tongue in cheek, and he's accomplished what he meant to do, a soundbite, and he doesn't care. Folks criticize him black and white now. He just wants you talking about him. He don't care what you say as long as you mention his name.
Okay, well.
Let's get back to sports. So listen, NBA, the NBA Summer League is kicked off, but we need to talk a little WNBA as well. Has anybody had a chance to watch any NBA Summer League games? I watched a little bit yesterday, but there was some good action. Anybody had a chance to watch anybody play that they thought played well?
No, I hadn't tuned in, to be honest with you.
I haven't watched any either.
Mm-hmm. Me neither.
Oh, so it's only me. But okay, so listen, they had, of course, everybody wants to see the draft picks. You see how well the top draft picks play. Darren Peterson from Kansas had a big game, scored 28. Cameron Boozer had a nice start. Darren Peterson was the number 2 pick. Boozer was the number 3 pick. And he played well. There's Acuff had 25 in his debut. DeBonta hadn't played yet. The number 1 pick, they play this weekend in another tournament. So, I'm glad the fact that I could have basketball on in the background while I'm working during the day. And then 2, it kind of helps me because I don't know if anybody else suffers from this. As much as I like basketball and I follow basketball, I get lost because there's so many kids coming out now. Like they go to college for a year or 2, or they go to 4 or 5 different schools. It's hard to track kids, and I used to be able to track a kid from high school to college to the pros. But now it's so much movement. It's hard to track these guys. So it's nice to watch them in the Summer League. Anybody got any commentary on Summer League, or should we move on?
Yeah, I'm interested to. I think Acuff is that guard from Arkansas. I think he is going to be the top scorer as far as rookie goes, and I just want to know where Peterson's mentality is going to be. Will he stay focused? Because he's in Utah, and that's not, the last 2 draft picks for Utah, their body language says, I don't want to play in Utah. Now, guys didn't have any problems in the 80s. Farrell Bailey was, most famous ACC alum. I'm just going to see how that dynamic is going to work out. And, of course, I'm interested in Caleb Wilson because the Bulls have a new coach. So we're going to see how the UNC one-and-done player does. And Caleb Wilson, looking forward to watching that.
I think Peterson has a chip on his shoulder, because he thought he was the best player and he wasn't drafted number 1. And you see from his first game, 28 points. I didn't watch it, but I saw the report. I think he has something to prove in his own mind. And so he wants to prove to the world that he was the best player in the draft and they made a mistake not to pick him. I think I agree with DL that Darius Acuff is an electrifying young man, and he probably will show out. Don't sleep on Caleb Wilson now.
Right.
Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people saying his ceiling is probably the highest out of all the draft picks. He was hurt last year for the last part in North Carolina, but they say, man, you need to watch out for him because he probably will maybe be the rookie of the year. So that will be a tight race. So we'll see.
One thing about Williams, I hear, and I always try to factor in the things that people don't pay attention to. Like I hear he has a great work ethic and he's a great young man. Yeah. So not only are you adding a young man who's a good player, you got to think about locker room and community. You know, what is he going to bring to our locker room? You know, that's got to be cohesive. And then two, he's also got to represent our organization in the community. So, you know, so I like those things. I don't know him, but those are the things I hear about him. And so, even though he went to Carolina, all I can do is wish him well. I hope he has a very successful career. You know, just based on what I've heard about him.
Even though he went to
Carolina. Yeah, and Coach, I am so ecstatic and excited about what the Hornets did. I had to tell my younger cousin, he's like 22 years younger than me, I had to explain to him the LaMelo Ball was addition by subtraction. I said the Hornets look at this and said, hey, I want some mature players on and off the court, and I'm going to make this move. It gives him a chance to play with a top 5 player because he's in Minnesota, and LaMelo has to be liking this. And for the Hornets, they made some picks. They got rid of Miles Bridges, sent him to Phoenix because his contract expires next year. So they're going to have money. And, you know, they bought in Grayson Allen, and so they're going. Not only are they going to fill the stands because you got a Duke alum by the Kobe White pick. What was it? What's it from Goldsboro, North Carolina? The Kobe White pick, a UNC alum. So now you got Duke and UNC in Charlotte. You're going to fill the stands, and you got mature players. And I told my cousin, it was the locker room. It was the locker room, and LaMelo Ball played defense when he wanted to play defense. He's a good scorer. He's box office entertainment. But he has to remember, I got to keep my other players involved, and that was my only knock on him. And he was just so immature. 2 off-the-court incidents involving motor vehicles where folks were injured. And, you know, so I'm happy for the Hornets. They're moving in the right direction, and they know they're looking at what OKC, not saying they're going to be the next OKC, but they're stockpiling good draft picks.
Yeah, I think they did. I agree with you, DL. I think they got rid of, but not got rid of. They traded Ball and what was the other guy's name? Left-handed kid. Bridges. Yeah. And I think if you look at the reasons why you trade somebody, locker room has got to be part of it, and community. And so I think and maturity. I think all y'all made that point. You can't have an immature player leading your organization and expect to win. And no disrespect to Ball, he's just young. And in 5 years he'll be a different player. But I think they made the right move. They brought in Naz Reid from Minnesota, a veteran, and they got Darius Finney-Smith, a veteran. Because I think when we got to the play-in games last year, I think we hit the wall because we were tired. But we needed some veteran leadership in that moment, and we just didn't have it.
But Coach, real quickly, so I'll let somebody else take the mic. I was surprised at the John Morant trade and the Jaylen Brown trade. That one kind of threw me off because Jaylen Brown doesn't get in trouble.
Yeah. I was going to bring that up about Jaylen Brown. What y'all thought about that? That looked like I don't know, a panic trade. They traded him for Paul George, an older guy who is injury prone right now. You're right. Jaylen Brown didn't seem like he got in any trouble. A good community guy, a guy who is socially conscious, give back to his community. So it must be a locker room thing. I don't know, man. But go ahead.
But Pastor Brown, the only thing in the Jaylen Brown thing is I like Brad Stevens as a coach at Butler, coach at Boston. Now he's in the front office making moves. He's always made right decisions. So that's what's really throwing me off. Brad Stevens got rid of Jaylen Brown. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I agree with you, Pastor Brown. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's strange, man.
Now if you look at Boston's lineup, you have Tatum and Brown. Tatum, who is coming off of an Achilles tear, he came back and he couldn't perform at a high level. You took a gamble on him and you traded a healthy Jaylen Brown. So that's what threw me. I was like, if you're going to build your franchise, right now you don't know if Tatum is going to be the same player or not.
And the crazy thing is they traded him to their rival. I mean, why would you trade him to to Philly? You know, I mean, you're going to have to meet them at least 2 times a year. And this man is, listen, Jaylen Brown is coming in with a chip on his shoulder whenever he plays them, man. So I'd hate to be Boston in those games.
I would have said not West. Go ahead, Dia.
Yeah, I agree with Pastor Brown. Hey, I just gave Brad Stevens his props. And now I got to question that based on what you said, Coach, because ACL injury. But in trading in the Philly, it makes me think about Andrew Toney, the Boston Strangler.
So we got a few minutes left. Anybody been following the WNBA? Let me tell you, Paige Beckers and what's the young lady's name that with the Notre Dame and then with TCU with the Afro?
Bud. You talking about Bud?
No. With the Notre Dame, and she transferred to TCU. She got a big Afro. She's a rookie this year.
Oh, I know you talk. I forgot her name, but she wears the glasses. The glasses.
Yeah, let me tell you, the talent pool is
Olivia Miles.
Olivia Miles, yes.
Right.
Let me tell you, the WNBA talent pool is getting ever more crowded. Man, these ladies coming out now, man, are just fantastic. Like you mentioned Bud too. Bud is playing very well. And so you have rookies who are competing for opportunities to be all-pro. And that's a big statement. So I'm excited about the future of the WNBA. And they're talking expansion now. So I hope they announce a couple of new cities here in the next few months.
So, Coach, you have down that the WNBA is the fastest-growing league. Comment on that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, listen, I think, like soccer, women's basketball is just taking off. One, because they get the chance. You think about some of these young ladies now. Their entire lives, they've seen the WNBA be in existence. And now they got a goal to shoot for. They can play in America and be a professional basketball player. So that's a big deal. And so I think, that just helps grassroots efforts, and that helps basketball to grow, just like soccer is growing here in America.
Wow.
And they're getting paid. And they're getting paid a lot better now, so they don't have to go overseas to play to supplement their, before they had to go overseas to play to supplement their paycheck. But now that, they're getting paid better, they can stay in one place. So I think that's really helping the WNBA. And with the new blood, it's good.
Yes. Has anybody been following? I haven't followed it as closely as I should, but anybody been following it?
Following what, Coach?
The WNBA, I apologize.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I definitely follow that. The only thing they need to do is stay out of their own way and not react to when you have you have this outside noise, depending on the media or whatever platform making outlandish accusations. The NBA, I'm not sure on this commissioner, Engelbert, whatever her name is. I think they need to move on from her, but Adam Silver likes her because ultimately the NBA runs that league. I just think it's wonderful, like you talked about expansion. I really enjoy watching those young ladies play. I'm a Fever fan. I've been a Fever fan before Caitlin Clark, Harvey Katch's daughter, Tamika Katch from Tennessee. I just think they play better with Caitlin, and I like Caitlin, but Caitlin is she's an all-star starter. Don't see how. She's not worked on her turnovers, and she whines way too much for me. I just, even her dad said that many a times. But the Fever, it's still going to be Vegas. But like you said, the Dallas Wings, Don't count them out. Angel Reese is doing a whole lot better in Atlanta. They surrounded her with better players, and she's in a better organization. And Angel Reese is still doing her thing, pulling those rebounds down and getting those points. She's a hard worker. I think she's matured from her first year. She doesn't respond. She ignores a lot of stuff. So this league is ascending upward.
I like to hear that, man. I like the fact that young ladies can grow up and dream about playing professional basketball here in the States. So I love that fact that it's stuck around. How long has it been around now? 20 years? Been 20 years so far?
96. So this is the 30th season.
30th season.
Okay.
Yeah. That's fantastic. And what cities, I don't remember, what cities were they talking about expansion cities for WNBA? Well, they were thinking about Houston, taking one back to Houston. I remember.
Yeah. Well, Detroit and Cleveland are on the short list as well. We need to get the Charlotte Stinson. We need to get I was going to say Charlotte Stinson, Andrea Stinson from North Carolina State, and Don Staley, the coach down there at South Carolina. They played for the team back in the day. Charlotte would support the team real good. We have nice facilities. You have the arena out at UNC Charlotte, and for smaller venue games. I don't know if Charlotte's in the mix, but definitely Detroit, Cleveland are in the mix, and Houston.
Coach, you got 60 seconds.
All right. I'm gonna ask this question. Everybody answer and you can take us out of here. If you could go to one sporting event throughout the course of the year, what event would it be?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Okay, that was easy. That was quick. What about you, DL?
If the Steelers are playing Super Bowl, if the Steelers not playing a Carolina championship game,
you never get a chance
Carolina
to go there.
Final Four basketball championship game.
DL,
okay.
You never get a chance to go in your lifetime.
Okay.
If it's a World Cup year, the World Cup. Otherwise, I've been to a Super Bowl before. I've never been to an NBA championship, so I'd love to go to one of those.
A seventh game.
A seventh
You know
game,
what?
yeah.
This goes sound different, but I would like to go to IndyCar race, like
Interesting.
Indianapolis 500.
Yeah.
My daughter and I had a chance to go to a NASCAR race here in Charlotte, but I would like to see an IndyCar style race up close and personal.
Cool.
Did that in 2009. It was real nice.
Really? Where'd you go?
Indianapolis, Camp Atterbury, a little National Guard facility. I was on active duty, and we got tickets to the Indy 500, which is like 30 minutes from where I was at. It was hot, but I enjoyed the experience. Never forget it.
How many people were at the race?
Probably over 100,000.
Yeah, I heard it.
And no fights.
Look, everybody there to cook out, have a good time, man. That's what I like about NASCAR folks. We do, family. Love you. DL, everybody. Pastor Brown, Troy, Dr. Brickey. Love y'all. Y'all have a great day.
All right, appreciate
man.
you.
Take care.
Have a great one, guys. Stay cool.